Welcome back to our channel. Please like and subscribe.
Just before 10 p.m. on January 30th, 2023, Tampa police officers responded to a call in the 10,700 block of Pictorial Park Drive in the Eastern Park subdivision. The caller was walking in the area and reported that a woman was lying on the ground on the residential street. The details thus far have left communities stunned. 3 days after being acquitted in a double fatality case, a self-proclaimed Tampa rapper had unleashed terror, some would say once again. When officers arrived, they found a male toddler who was sleeping while sitting in a car seat in the back of a Ford EcoSport SUV, and an adult woman in her 20s, later confirmed to be his mother, lying next to the vehicle with upper body trauma. The child was uninjured and subsequently placed in the care of relatives. Unfortunately, the woman was pronounced gone at the scene and later identified as 22-year-old single mother Alana Sims, who was 5 months pregnant at the time.
She was a bright, wonderful person, willing to do anything for anybody. Yes, he's perfectly fine. No harm was done to him. He's safe with us.
The family says the loss of Alana was even greater because she was pregnant.
Our son is our everything. And that she was pregnant again, and we just lost two souls, basically. Two souls. But we got family here, we're together. We're just gonna do this together.
Sims' mother, Shalavi, described her as a drama-free person who stayed to herself and was down to earth. She enjoyed spending time with her son, nieces, and other family. Sims' sister, Carly Williams, also shared that she was extremely close with Alana, who was one of 5 girls in the family. She recalled her always smiling and being an overall positive person.
Always up to do any obstacle that was challenging, very outgoing. She's going to be missed dearly. She loved her son a lot. He was her everything. So the memories I would have is the joyful moments that she had with her son.
Alana's mother created a GoFundMe campaign to assist with offsetting funeral costs. The fundraiser exceeded its $4,000 goal and raised more than $15,000 as of this video. The link can be found in the description below. One neighbor told the investigators that he heard pop sounds that resembled the sound of a firearm discharge. The sound was reportedly recorded through an outdoor camera. Unfortunately, the footage did not capture the incident or what happened to the 22-year-old.
It's amazing because I was about to walk the dog at that time. So my son asking me to play card and him spending time with me may have saved our lives.
He showed a security video that clearly shows the dogs reacting to a sharp noise outside. Unfortunately, the camera cannot see beyond his porch into the darkness.
But from my side camera, you can't really see anything because the density of the darkness, but you can hear immediately when that first pop occurs. Both of my puppies ran toward the side gate.
Authorities said they believed Alana was targeted and the suspect likely knew her. Alana's mother said her daughter lived in the Carrollwood area and the family was unsure why she was in a neighborhood several miles away from home or who she might have met there. Shalavi said as far as she knew, her daughter wasn't seriously dating anyone. She said she talked to her daughter the day prior and the 22-year-old seemed fine. Shalavi intended to visit her the following day, but sadly that would never come to fruition.
The most unbearable thing you could imagine can happen, happened. He's among loved ones and he's running around and he's happy.
Not an easy thing to process, so we don't really know why she was in that area. Didn't deserve for this to happen to her the way that it did.
On February 8, 2023, Billy Bennett Adams III, a self-proclaimed rapper who performs as Ace NH, was arrested for Alana's fatality. In a jaw-dropping revelation, just 3 days prior to the tragic incident, Adams had been found not guilty in the fatality of 2 men in a Lutz recording studio following a week-long trial. Hillsborough Circuit Judge Christopher Sabella told 25-year-old Adams to stay out of trouble and that he did not want to see him back in court.
3 days prior to her death,
the defendant is not guilty.
A sigh of relief from Adams after a jury believed his testimony, saying he shot 2 people at a home recording studio in self-defense.
Billy had been free on bail for most of the 2 years as the 2020 fatality case made its way through the court system.
In November of 2020, Adams is accused of gunning down 2 men in a converted recording studio in Lutz. Investigators say Adams is a gang member, and they believe the shooting was connected to a gang feud involving weapons and money.
I was facing my computer, and I heard 2 gunshots.
Joseph Meeks owns the studio and witnessed all of it. He testified during Adams' bond hearing.
What did you see?
Basically, all I seen was the people not moving and Adams standing there with a gun.
Aside from being a rap artist, Adams graduated from USF with a bachelor's degree in science in management.
During that period, he was restricted from leaving his parents' new Tampa home, and an electronic monitor kept track of his movements. Additionally, he was not allowed to legally possess firearms and had to turn over his concealed weapons permit.
I pulled out my gun and I shot Mr. Albury in fear of Mr. Beast getting shot or myself getting shot.
Investigators say Adams planned the execution of Daniel Thompson and Trayvon Albury, but Adams claims the 2 men planned to rob him and the studio owner. He says when one victim pulled out a gun, he took action and defended himself.
Previously facing a mandatory life sentence, following the conclusion of the case, those restrictions were lifted.
The jury find as follows: to count 2 of the charge of murder in the first degree, Trayvon Albury. The defendant is not guilty. Is this your true and correct verdict?
You can see that sigh of relief there. The jury also found Adams not guilty in the murder of Daniel Thompson. He was also acquitted of armed burglary. Adams looked relieved, but he stayed composed during the verdict. He is now a free man.
Adams released an album titled Underground Icon on February 1st, and its cover included an image of a news story headline about his previous fatality case. After his arrest, his Instagram profile, which has more than 30,000 followers, was made private. For the second time in less than 3 years, Adams found himself facing fatality charges. In connection with Alana's passing, he was charged with 1 count of premeditated fatality and 1 count of fatality of an unborn child. When detectives first questioned him, Adams told them he hadn't seen Sims in a while, didn't know if he could be the father of her child, and hadn't heard she was deceased, according to Tampa Police Major Mike Stout. Furthermore, he denied being in the area where the 22-year-old was wounded. Investigators knew this was untrue because they'd obtained video which clearly showed his vehicle near the crime scene. From early on, Alana's family was confused as to what she was doing in the area.
And tonight, like many, they're wondering why Elena would come to this neighborhood miles away from where she lives.
Nobody really knows the answer to that question, only she does and God.
At a news conference following the arrest, Tampa Police Major Mike Stout answered that. He said Sims had been lured to what she was told would be a party to celebrate Adams' acquittal. Alana apparently considered Billy to be her boyfriend and believed he was the father of her unborn child, though it was unclear to investigators if Adams was indeed the father. Though many details have not been revealed to the public as of this video, police said Billy later confessed to ending Alana's life. They believe the motive was that Adams no longer wanted to be in the woman's life as he was not ready to be a father.
A dead mother that's 22 years old with a 18-month in the car, feet from her body for some time before she was discovered. Very early on, they were able to find video of Billy Adams' vehicle in close proximity to the scene of the homicide, though he denied ever being anywhere near the homicide in that time frame. He does admit to being the one that pulled the trigger and killed Alana Sims on that evening.
Any idea what the motive was?
It would appear that the motive is that he did not want to be in her life anymore and was not ready to, have a child, is unfortunately how it appears to us.
Stout also shared that he didn't observe remorse as he watched Billy be interviewed by his detectives.
Sick to her stomach to hear those details. So as you can imagine, they are feeling a lot of emotion today, but she told me she was having a low day until she got that call this afternoon from the detective letting her know about this arrest. They feel like they're getting closer now to justice. 9 days after getting a call that changed her life, Alana Sims received another one Wednesday afternoon.
Praise God, our family and friends were just praying that they catch this monster, and they did,
3 days after Adams was acquitted of a 2020 double murder.
They made a wrong judgment. They really should have looked at the whole picture and not just thought about, oh, this is just a young person. They need to look that that guy did the same thing to another family. 2 at that.
Leaving this family with the constant moments of wondering why.
No need. If you didn't want to be in her life, walk away. She would have been taken care of regardless. She was a joyful person, very high spirit. She's going to be dearly missed.
As they now shift their focus to justice.
Justice has been served. I mean, I can't bring my daughter back, but at least we know that the monster that did this would sit behind bars, and maybe he will think now of what he done. If not, may God be with him.
Anyone with relevant information is urged to call the Tampa Police Department at 813-231-6130 or share their tip through TIP 411, which is accessible through the Tampa PD app. I will be following the outcome of this case, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell.